welcome to HOA Fight Club. I'm Raylene Schifano. First of all, the opinions that I have of everything are my opinions. These are just things that I feel need to be put out there so that our government officials know where we the people stand. Our government officials, all their power is inherent in the people, and their government is derived from the powers of the people. We vote them in, we give them that power, and then if we don't like what they're doing, we get to vote them out. So I think it's really important for our legislators to understand that homeowners in Washington state have been, and across the United States, this isn't just a Washington state issue, have been crying for help to take care of road boards in HOAs and condo associations and property managers and attorneys. We have asked that the property managers are licensed and they are governed, and so are the attorneys and the boards. Now, boards are held harmless for anything they do, whether it's right or wrong. They say that they're not, but they are. So if you are unhappy in your condo or your HOA, there's probably a reason, and the board is probably not doing what they're supposed to be doing. If there's any sort of corporation that's not governed by the Attorney General's office or the state, then that is above the Constitution of Washington state. No corporation has the power to be above the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So homeowners' questions to our legislators is, how can these governing documents that govern HOA and condo associations be above the US and Washington state Constitution? And I haven't gotten a clear answer on that one yet. Of course, I give my opinions and I tell you that I feel that it's unconstitutional, but I keep having legislators come back and say that these laws are constitutional, and I never get an explanation of why they think that the laws are constitutional. So maybe if they tried to explain it to us and showed us some evidence of why they feel it's constitutional, that would really help the people. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So when the government allows and creates acts, uniform acts and things like that, and you make those acts above the Constitution, like governing documents, that's unconstitutional in itself. And I've said that before, that if anything is above the Constitution, if our Attorney General doesn't have power to govern a corporation, it is unconstitutional. The private affairs of the home, which is Section 7, no person shall be disturbed in private affairs of his home or invaded without authority of law. So the authority of law, is that boards? Is that what we feel is the authority of law? Because if something happens in an HOA or condo association, the board is the jury, judge, and executioner. So that did give them the power of the municipality. In fact, it gave them supreme power and not even a due process. So if somebody gets fined, they don't even have due process to go to court or to have an impartial tribunal to go over what these fines are. And the problem with these fines is that with these fines comes the threat of foreclosure. So if you don't pay your fines, we will foreclose. To me, that sounds like extortion, because the board can make up whatever they want. They don't have to have any sort of evidence. They don't have to have a due process hearing. They are supposed to give the homeowners a right to be heard, but 9 out of 10 times, the homeowners don't even know they have that right to be heard. And then who are they being heard by? They're being heard by the board of directors that has usually been the person that's the accuser. So the board accuses you of doing something. They need no evidence, and then they get to be jury, judge, and executioner. That's unconstitutional to me. We have a right in Washington state, if you're fined for anything more than $25, like a speeding ticket, you have the right to go to court and have due process. You have the right to ask for all the discovery, the evidence of the police officer's LiDAR gun. You can ask for the police officer to be there. You can ask for his statement. You can ask for everything that you need to know to fight a speeding ticket. But when it comes to HOA and condo associations, you don't have that right. You don't have the right to face your accuser. Most of the times, you don't even know if it's the board or somebody else that's accusing you of things. So I feel like the legislators, they think that I'm asking for them to be the police officers. No, I'm just asking for them to give the people a fighting chance in these associations, to give the homeowners. I think that all fines should be dealt with by an impartial tribunal. I've offered suggestions of small claims court that is a simple $50 fee, and you go in and you both present your side. There's no attorneys necessary, and then you can debate with an impartial judge that what is happening in these communities. I do understand that people don't pay their dues. The assessments that are given to the people for their HOA and their condo associations, they need to be paid. I'm not saying that we don't want them to be paid. We do. We want to make sure everybody's doing their part, but we also want to make sure that there's not extra fines and fees added, and especially attorney fees, because the attorneys have created laws that put them above the fair housing laws and the fair collection laws. If an attorney wants to charge you fees, they just charge you and then they just add it to your account. And then they have that right to demand those fees be due within 15 days, 10 to 15 days. So right there, that allowing attorneys to be above the fair collection laws is unconstitutional. And if the legislators feel that that isn't unconstitutional, why don't they show me what evidence they have that is constitutional about these laws to allow anybody to be above the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? It was put there for a reason, but HOAs and condo associations do not fall under these laws. They don't have the property managers licensing. Those property managers do not have to follow the laws. They are exempt from the laws to be licensed and managed or governed by the government. So we are just asking for fair and equal, which is what Washington State's Constitution is supposed to be about. Everything is supposed to be fair and equal for everyone. There's not supposed to be any special privileges to fine and foreclose. I understand where the government is when they say that these governing documents run with the land, but these governing documents were not created prior to the Constitution. The Constitution, both the US and Washington State Constitution, were passed before any of these covenants that run with the land. So that is my first question for our legislators. Maybe they can answer it for us and give us a good reason of why they feel that homeowners' rights do not matter in Washington State if they live in an HOA or condo association. We're not asking for anything special. We're just asking for the rights to due process and the right to have our private affairs of our home be kept in our home. We are disturbed in our homes many, many times. We are fined when we're in our homes, and we should have at least the right to a impartial tribunal to deal with any of these. And again, I really, really would like the legislators to come in and I think educate us on the Constitution and why they feel these laws are so constitutional. If you don't believe that there's a part of, at least a part of HOA condo associations that are not constitutional or that are unconstitutional, then I really would like to hear from the legislators and their opinions on this, because they're the ones that are creating laws. And if these laws are unconstitutional, our legislators need to go back and change them. All right, I'll see you on the next one.